back to the Tap Music Guys. I'm Anthony J here, and I'm with Aaron Zimmer, who is our tap music recording artist who came to sit down with us for an interview. Welcome, Aaron.
Good to be here. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yes, and Aaron's got a new EP coming out, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But just to give you a little introduction, Aaron's from Nebraska, right? Lincoln, Nebraska?
I grew up in Lincoln, Nebraska. I've been here for about 7 years, 8 years. So, but yeah, I came up in the Midwest. Yeah.
Oh wow! And when did you first get to singing? Were you very young?
Yeah, probably church when I was 4. I don't know.
Oh wow!
I don't know. I've been in grade school and high school and college. Any of the vocal ensembles, I always did that. It's really just.
When did you recognize you had a singing talent or a musical talent?
Well, I think that I recognized that because my dad has one.
Also runs it.
Yeah, I have an older brother, and he's really musical, so I think I just figured I'd do well at it if I just gave it a shot.
Oh wow! So now, when you were growing up, obviously you must have listened to a lot of bands and music when you were a teenager and younger. And so, what kind of influences did you have when you were?
Well, this is the question that everyone asks, and I feel like I don't have a good answer for it because I really didn't get it. I didn't discover all the rock and roll icons until way later. My folks listened to pop music, and I know all the Carpenter stuff. My mom loves Elvis Presley, and my dad loves anything vocal, Manhattan Transfer and things like that. So I didn't actually discover rock and roll music until high school almost. I think Alice in Chains was the first band that it was a rock band that I loved. Before that, it was all pop stuff.
So your family was very into music then?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Well, that's interesting. So as far as your musical style, would you best describe it as is it alternative rock, or is it kind of
I guess so.
Mix of...
I think that we're calling this record alternative pop rock.
Yeah, it does have a pop kind of sound.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, I'm a pop artist, but I think that there's some rock and roll influence in there. There's definitely some alt country type stuff in a few too. So I like that label, alt pop rock.
Yeah, excellent. Now, before you became a solo artist, you were in a band back in Nebraska.
That's right, and and it was called the Aaron Zimmer Band, so it's not really that big of a change. But yeah, I quit college and put a band together with a group of college friends, and we recorded a record in my apartment and sort of just played the Midwest and branched out as best we could.
Wow, you recorded an album in your apartment?
The first one, yeah. The first one I don't know if you remember, Roland had these machines, these 24-track digital recorders. They were $1,000 and everybody bought one. And so everyone was making these records in 1999 on those types of things. And so I did one too, and it sounded awful, but we just pressed it anyway and did our best. We ended up recording more.
But you were touring briefly with the band, and then the band kind of broke up, and that's when you decided to...
Yeah, we signed a deal with a booking agency, and we bought a big tour bus, and we really went after it. And, like a lot of bands who do things like that, it didn't work. So we kind of fell apart, and moved back home to Lincoln, and I moved out here about a year later.
Wow. So because you were really determined to stick with into the music.
Yeah, I think so.
When you went solo.
It's all I've ever really worked at, so it seemed like it would have been a mistake to quit then.
Yeah. So when did you come to New York City? What year was it?
I left January 1st of 2004. I got here January 3rd, 2004.
2004. Mm-hmm. Wow. So that's... And you worked... tell us how you met this producer, Christian Kassan.
Christian
Kassan.
Christian Kassan.
He had worked with David Byrne and...
Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff. Yeah. He, I sort of not a great story. We had a mutual friend that he was working on a record. His record sounded great, so I just wanted, I wanted to work where he was working. And we did one song together in I think 2007.
Right.
And then as soon as we were sort of done with that, we knew we were going to make a record. So, and then we put a record out in 2009 called Live Wires.
Yes, Live Wires.
Yeah.
The EP. Now, you released that. It was about 2009.
Yeah.
And,
late 2009.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Now, the songs, when you do your songwriting, and we listen to the songs, is there a certain theme to them? Is there kind of a theme of kind of overcoming the struggle, or kind of like
well,
personal obstacles?
I think definitely on the last record there was that, and it did occur to me that a lot of the content was really the same, similar content until the record was done. And, it was kind of a disappointment to me that it was that way. And so the new EP that we've got coming out, I really feel was different. Approach songs in a different way. They're not all about me. They're not always such downers. And even the way I was writing songs, the way I tuned the guitar, I just tried to do everything completely different this time around. And I think that this new record sounds different because of that.
So when you're songwriting, are you like composing like on guitar? Or
yeah, guitar usually. Sometimes just melodies or ideas in my head, but mostly it's guitar.
Now let's get into the upcoming EP that you have coming out.
Yes.
You entitled it. It's called "This Time Next Year."
Mm-hmm.
This time next year.
This time next year.
Here it is. In case we have it right here, coming out on the 21st. Is it?
21st. 21st
of
June. Yes.
June. Yes. We love the title. How did you come up with the title?
Well, it's kind of what we've been talking about. I feel like I've just been at this for so long that everyone sort of sets themselves deadlines or projections or ideas or hopes or goals or whatever you want to call it. This time next year I'll have done this, and I've just been saying that for years, and it's just never really happened. So this record is kind of about that, and also about the idea that term. Hung my hat on it a lot, but it doesn't really actually mean very much because we're never going to get to this time next year.
So a couple of tracks on the album. One of them we heard called "Conspiracy Theorist."
Yeah.
What was that one about? What's that about?
That one's one. It's just it's one like we were talking about. It has nothing really to do with me at all. Too much. I just like the idea of some person, be it whoever it was. Couldn't let love in because they were too paranoid. And it's a fun song. It was a fun one to write, and an easy one to write, and really fun to record because we had horns in and a lot of different instrumentation on it.
So what would you say was, for this album, was there anything that inspired you for the songs on this one?
No, the inspiration was to go at each song in a different way, to try to write something I'd never written before.
So it's a new kind of a new direction.
Sort of, yeah. This record, to me, it seems a little more real, definitely more me. I don't know why, it just does. I don't know, it seems fresh to me and exciting.
Yeah. So you got a lot of tattoos, as you can.
Yeah, I got a few.
We love those.
Yeah.
And let's get into what's going on for the CD. You have a release party coming up right at the end of the month,
June 25th at the Bowery Electric.
Bowery Electric, right here in New York.
Two really, really great bands that are playing on the bill too. A band called Apollo Run and a band called The Last Royals.
The Last Royals.
Yeah. Doors at 7, shows at 8. It's gonna be great. We've got a guy by the name of Andy Lynn. He's got this thing called the Self-Portrait Project, where it's like a really, really tricked out photo, but it's all free and really fun, and we're going to shoot the images onto a big screen. Wow. Booze specials. We have a lot of stuff happening. It's going to be great.
June 25th at the Bowery Electric.
Yes.
And so what is it like performing? Do you really love performing as much as recording, or is it?
Yeah, I do. When I'm recording, I can't wait to perform, and when I'm performing, I can't wait to perform. But I really do, and I love to travel, and I do love to perform, be it with a band or by myself, which I do a lot of both.
You don't have a preference then? Would you like better, being in the studio or being out?
Oh, between the studio, no, because they're so different, and they satisfy way different things. No, live performance is something altogether different because it's about an experience with the different people every day. Whereas recording is an experience because it's a lot about you and a lot about your songs and how they're going to sound. And they're both wonderful.
Did you have a specific location that you performed at that you like most, perhaps? Favorite spot? Oh, in New York or anywhere?
Good question. Any of the places in Nashville are great to play at. I love to play in my hometown area because the crowds are big.
In Lincoln?
In Lincoln, and even Kansas City and Chicago. I love those towns to play. I think that this Bowery Electric place, I've never played there before, but I think that it might end up being my favorite spot to play before. It's a nice
Oh,
big
really?
room. It sounds good in there. I've seen shows but I never played. So I think that one will be. This will be the biggest show I've done.
Wow, that sounds really exciting.
I hope so.
What can we expect from you, Aaron, the rest of the summer and beyond?
Well, we're gonna do the show, release the record, and then gear up to tour. Into the fall and the winter. Count on being on the road a lot. The last part of last half of this year, and then into 2012.
Now you did there's a little charity thing that goes along too with
Yeah,
with the album.
it's called Bark. Bark.org. It's for abandoned animals in Williamsburg where I live. I have a dog, and they're just everywhere. Cats in particular are just. Williamsburg is kind of a no man's land for homeless animals. It's awful. So they're finding good homes for stray cats and dogs rather than putting them down.
It's a great cause.
Yeah, I like them very much.
So you live in Brooklyn?
Yeah, it's Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Yeah.
Nice. Right. So this is the new EP coming out. It's called. Tell us.
This time next year.
This time next year. We've all probably said that a few times.
That's right.
So that's the name of the EP coming out. You can see it here. It comes out or is released on the 21st.
Yeah, it'll be out June 21st, and then the record release party here in New York is June 25.
All right, Aaron, thank you for joining us. Aaron's
Good to be here.
with
Thank
us
you very
from
much.
Tap Music, and you can find his music here on the tapmusic.com website and pretty much everywhere else, right? In stores, on the web,
Yes,
iTunes,
that's right.
etc., etc. All right, Aaron, appreciate it. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Good day, guys. Thank you.